All right, I have an important message that I want to get out before it slips my mind. Number one, when in doubt, meditate. Everything here in this third dimensional realm was intended to test us, right? That's the only purpose of everything here. Everything here is broken and fucked up to a certain degree to test us. So when you're in doubt, just meditate. Even the people that you think are spiritually aligned, they are also fucked up, right? They got their traumas and the things that they manifest, the different marriages they get into, and this and that. Well, marriage itself is a broken, traumatic egregore, is what it is. It's a illusion. So if anybody is, in a marriage, they have some sort of trauma because they resonate with an illusion, right? So everybody here is playing with some sort of trauma, right? So when in doubt, meditate. Why? Because meditation brings you back to source. It brings you back to center. It brings you back to perfection. And in that perfection, you can experience bliss, right? You can experience some form of bliss, right? Every single person, when it comes down to it, when it comes down to the fucking nitty gritty, you realize, oh, that person was not your friend, right? When you get down to the very brass tacks, you realize, oh shit, that person was never my friend, right? You let yourself get in an argument with this person that supposedly loves you, and then watch what comes out, right? If it's a guy, he probably thinks that he might say something like, I could beat your ass anytime. He always thought he was more dominant than you. He always thought he was stronger than you. He always thought he was better than you. And so what does that imply? Well, it implies that he was comparing himself to you the whole time and trying to use you to better his situation. Never once did he look at you in a positive light and want to help you. It was all about him the whole time. Isn't that crazy, right? And he was supposedly your homie the whole fucking time, right? The whole fucking time, right? And a lot of people have to learn their lessons and they have to go through their traumas. And what you realize is they will have to learn those lessons and those traumas at your expense half the time, right? So let's say you have a business partnership with this person, right? And you guys get to a certain level and then they go their own way because they have money now and they think they don't need you, and then they come crawling back because it doesn't work out for them, right? Let's just say that happens. Well, in that situation, they had to learn a karmic lesson about the fact that, you can't be a one-man army, and you can't, everybody at the top has a team, etc., right? And other people, they might have to learn lessons where they can't, you can't build 1,000 businesses. You got to build one. And they might burn through your time and energy talking to you about 1,000 different businesses, right? And so what I'm telling you is each individual person that you run into is learning their own lessons, and they're going through their own traumas. And most likely, they're going to have to burn some of your time and energy. And because they're already burning some of their own, and if they're talking to you, some of yours is getting burnt. And that's where we get karmic ties and stuff like that. But this brings me back to my point one. I've been talking for 4 minutes. And let's bring it all the way home, all right? That is why you return to source, okay? Because 99% of the time, you're in reality. And in this reality, 99% of the fucking time, you will have to deal with people that need to learn their lessons, dealing with trauma, etc., right? And when you return back to source, it puts you in alignment so you don't have to learn so many lessons. See, traumas, they only build up in us when we let them. And these entities, these archonic beings, these fourth dimensional archons that eat off of our trauma and our energy, these entities are like just waiting in the shadows for us to fester and let things fester, because everything here is in motion. So it's either that it's growing in you in a bad way, or you are cleansing yourself constantly. You see what I'm saying? Because once again, you go outside, it's trauma. You go outside, anywhere you look, any direction, it's trauma, right? So the wounds are always being reopened, and you are being triggered, and then they fester. So you have to re-cleanse. So when in doubt, return to center, right? A lot of people, they spend their life in the external all the time, right? All the fucking time. And so every day, you know, they might be getting ahead in life and this and that, but like, bro, have you seen what is the movie? It's not The Godfather, Scarface. So in Scarface, there's a point where he's like, they're at the dinner table, and he looks across at his wife, and he's like, he's talking to his friend, he's smoking a cigar, he's talking to his friend, he's like, her womb is so poisoned, I can't even have a baby with it, or something like that, right? And like, she looks at him, and she's like, you fuck. She's like all pissed, and she splashes water on him, and she says, look at us, Tony. We're not winners, we're losers, right? You kill people and you sell drugs. Wow, congratulations. You're such a contribution to society. There's my example, right? Too focused on the external. Yeah, you're winning because you got money, but you had to kill people to get there. Not only did you have to kill people to get there, you had to sell drugs to get there. You have this girl who's a hot girl, but she doesn't even love you. You have this friend, right? Like I said before, my first example, you have this friend who's, you think he's your friend. This whole time, this motherfucker was just comparing himself to you. He was just thinking he could beat your ass, right? He just thought that he was like more dominant and like whatever. And he was just trying to use you for his advantage. And that's the issue we have in society today, is everybody is running around, living their life through egregores, which are basically just illusions like money, religion, marriage. These things aren't real, and everybody's running around through these egregores, and they're living, they're getting stripes and progressing in a life that doesn't even fucking matter. So they're making all this progress towards nothing, nowhere, right? The real progress is internal. So that's why I said, when in doubt, go meditate. Why? Because it's the best use of your time. Because it's a process of removing and stripping and healing and cleansing and knowing yourself. And you know what comes out of that? Readiness in key moments. Readiness when you're at a juncture to make a choice, at a crossroads. You make the right choice. That's what comes out of meditation, bro. Out of meditation, you get aligned to your purpose, and then your destiny happens. And like, the way that I look at life and like how it works is like, we all come here with like a lower destiny, a middle destiny, and a higher destiny. Our souls might take multiple lifetimes to reach the higher destiny. You might just get the lower destiny, and the lower destiny could just be like being a homeless person, right? Being a homeless person, and that's the lowest destiny. And you might have some pleasures down there, some drugs that you do, some meth, some crack, whatever, right? And there's pleasures, but they're all dirty highs because your teeth are rotting out of your mouth, etc., right? And then there's the middle lane, which is like, you got the girl, you got the house, you got the, you know, the respect, your peers, people that I don't give a fuck about you, but at least you're like known in society, and you're winning what I call the popularity game, or another example would be the status symbol game. So you're winning, right? And that's the middle ground, right? Your soul in this lifetime or whatever lifetime, it reached the middle ground. And in the middle ground, it has pleasures, but they're all empty too. It's like biting a cake made out of ashes. Shit is not real, right? Then there's this higher purpose, this significance. That's not even significance, it's really fulfillment, is what it really is. This higher purpose of, hey, I saw through the matrix, I made it to the other side. I didn't get attached here in the physical. And that's where you experience the soul, twin flame, soulmates, the relationships that are truly fulfilling, truly loving, mirrors. That's where you experience the money coming in. And not only is it coming in ways where you're actually feeling good about it and you're helping people, but you're doing things with it that actually feel good. And then this place that is so, we can call this place like a purgatory that's stuck in between heaven and hell. It becomes more like heaven. And it's almost like there's some sort of energy around you that just starts molding and shaping events to your favor, regardless if things look impossible, etc., right? And now, that right there, what I just explained, is the reason why I do semen retention, right? So like right now, I think I'm like, so I've been doing semen retention for a few years, but for a while I was doing a release every 1 or 2 months. Now I'm about 3 or 4 months without release. I've only had a few drops come out during sleep, one time. But yeah, so I'm like 3 or 4 months retained right now. And what happens is when you're this retained is you start to polarize and it weeds things out of your life that shouldn't be there. And then what happens is your energy glows more, your skin looks good. You have this aura about you that's powerful. And you can actually, shift things in your reality easier and quicker. Now, with that being said, because you glow more, glowing illuminates darkness. So any crevices around you that are in the dark will start to show to you, and you'll be able to see them with absolute clarity. Now, you might be thinking, okay, let me go, like, I've semen retained for 3 to 4 months. I see all the things that are broken. Let me go fix them. Wrong. Once again, when in doubt, return to your center. It's your frequency and vibration and your alignment that sends out the signal. That signal is what shapes the reality around you. So people don't realize that we are God and we are the creators here and the ones experiencing the creation. We are the architects of our own reality through our state of being and what we select on the internal. Now, with that being said, we also are completely on the unknowing side as well of what this reality really is. But he who feels it knows it. It lives in the moment. Look up that song by Atma. He who feels it knows it. And you'll realize the truth. The truth is you can have faith, and that's what faith is. When you are divinely connected with Source, you have intuition flowing through you. You don't have to question anymore what this reality is or what you should be doing. You don't have to do. You be first, then you do, then you have. It's in that order. So when in doubt, return to meditation. Then in the key opportune moments, you will do the right things that will make you have the things that resemble what is meant for you. Now, they say you either die a hero or you live long enough to be a villain. I would change that to be you can live as long as you want and remain the hero as long as you meditate. For real. You can't turn into the villain if you're constantly meditating, because it's an internal check. It's an internal alignment, and it makes sure that you don't go off the right path. and that you stay aligned, right? Some things that were very traumatic in my life happened right after I meditated. Right after I meditated, I went and, had these traumas. But you realize that it's not the trauma that you're trying to avoid. It's the ability to have awareness through the event. The event is still going to be traumatic, but if you can have awareness, you won't let it damage you long term or fragment your soul. The traumatic event only becomes traumatic if you don't have awareness. And I was able to experience traumatic things right after a meditation, which allowed me to not fragment myself or go into spirals of self-doubt because of these experiences. I actually gained from these experiences and became a better person. And better doesn't mean good or bad. Better means more you. Better means more aligned. Better means more certain, more knowing, all right? He who feels it knows it. It lives in the moment. I'm out.